Welcome back guys to Movies Recaps. Today I'm going to describe The Drunken Master. The film starts with Thunder Leg going to a detached area. There he finds a letter requesting that he murder popular boxing champion Charlie Way. He additionally gets some cash for the gig. Thunder Leg then, at that point, heads to where Charlie is. He straightforwardly lets the man know that he's here to kill him. Charlie is stunned and lets him know that he can pay him twofold to kill the individual who sent the letter, all things considered. Anyway, Thunder Leg declines him, saying that his honor won't permit him to double-cross his client. Both of them then, at that point, begin engaging with Thunder's Leg, intensely overwhelming Charlie. The scene then moves to a kung fu preparing focus. A few understudies are rehearsing kung fu. Ace Wong observes his understudies practice. Abruptly he gets up and heads outside. He requests that his associate deal with the understudies while he's gone. The associate begins instructing the understudies a few maneuvers. Anyway, it's obvious they don't view him in a serious way. Freddie Wong begins prodding the collaborator alongside his companion. At the point when the collaborator understands this, he denounces Freddie and lets him know that since he's the child of an expert Wong, it doesn't mean he can do anything he needs. The associate then, at that point, attempts to show him an example, and the two of them battle. Freddie gets the high ground and beats the associate without any problem. Sometime thereafter, Freddie and his companion are eating when they notice a lovely young lady in the city. Freddie asserts that he would be able to embrace the young lady and wagers his companions that in the event that he can do so, they should get him some food. He then, at that point, takes a snake from one of the seller's crates and uses it to unnerve the young lady and embrace her. Abruptly, the young lady's mom shows up and fires, thrashing Freddie. Freddie is no match for her kung fu, so he rapidly runs away. As he returns to home base, he sees Lee takes a jade from an unfortunate merchant and will not pay the perfect sum. At the point when the merchant beseeches him, he breaks the jade. He even attempts to beat the merchant. All at once Freddie shows up and instructs him an example. Indeed, even with a blade, Lee is no counterpart to Freddie, who takes his cash and hands it to the seller. In the wake of beating Lee silly, Freddie cautions him to at no point ever cause his fury in the future. Freddie then, at that point, gets back. When he enters, he understands that his dad is talking with a similar lady who beat him up prior. Her girl is there also. Freddie makes an honest effort to get away from them, however he's at the end brought before them. The lady ends up being his dad's sister. The lady doesn't uncover Freddie's confidentiality, however her little girl tells Ace Wang that Freddie had been prodding her in the city. Similarly, as Wang is about to rebuff Freddie, Mr. Lee bursts in with his child Lee, who is seriously harmed and encircled by mortars all around his body. He requests that Freddie be rebuffed for his rudeness. Wang needs to rebuff his child himself. Anyway, his sister persuades him that the casualty ought to rebuff Freddie themselves. That's what she lies. They'll get 10 assaults on Freddie, during which Lee won't go after back. One of Lee's men flaunts that he will just need 3 assaults to beat Freddie. What's more, begins hitting him. After some time, when 10 assaults are finished, Freddie is as yet remaining without starting to perspire. Enraged by this, the man begins going after Freddie once more, yet this time Freddie fights back and whips him. The remains then head back, swearing vengeance on Freddie and Wong. Ace Wang then chooses to rebuff Freddie. He makes the kid stay in a very troublesome asana for no less than 5 hours consistently. Anyway, the brilliant kid calls his companions for help and track down different ways of cheating his way through the disciplines. Baffled, his dad chooses to select him in the preparation of Bum So. During one of his disciplines, Freddie's companion acts as the hero and tells him that he will be in a ton of inconvenience soon. He lets him know that Transient So has gained notoriety for devastating his understudies during preparing. Terrified about what will befall him, Freddie chooses to take off. Eager and destitute, Freddie goes to a eatery. He sits next to a man eating there and orders lots of food, wanting to con the man later to cover the bill. In the wake of eating his fill, he chooses to go, yet, incidentally, the man is the proprietor of the cafe. Freddie is then, at that point, whipped by the flunkies of the cafe. As he's getting beaten by these men, he experiences Transient So. The two of them figured out how to whip the cafe's thugs. Outside, Freddie thanks Transient So for helping him. He doesn't understand that the poor person So was the person who had him frightened, furthermore, running a couple of days prior. He continues to censure the man, not knowing he's something very similar So, whom his dad requested to prepare him. All of a sudden, Bum So uncovers his personality, which takes Freddie aback. He attempts to run away from the man, however he can't get away from him. Freddie attempts to battle the man to alarm him off, however So's capricious kung fu style is infinitely better than that of Freddie's. So hauls the kid to his house. On his first night at So's place, Freddy attempts to get away from a few times, however, can't do as such as So is extra watchful. The following day So prepares Freddy. Freddy is asked to consistently move water from one major cauldron to another. When So isn't looking, Freddy claims to suffocate in one of the cauldrons, and when he comes to help, Freddy traps the elderly person in the cauldron, all things considered, and takes off. In a little while, Freddy is sitting in Thunderlig's mysterious area drawing his wet garments when unexpectedly Thunderlig shows up. Thunderlig orders Freddy to leave right away, however Freddy declines to make a few impolite comments simultaneously. Thunderlig pounds Freddy without any problem. He doesn't kill him, letting him know that killing Freddy would be a shame. He embarrasses Freddy and makes him creep from under his leg. Freddy then, at that point, takes off. Embarrassed and thumped, Freddy can't quit contemplating the beating he gotten and the embarrassment he endured from the man. Wishing to get payback against a man, Freddy gets back to Transient So to finish his preparation. From the following day, Freddy's thorough preparing starts. In the first place, So prepares his hands by directing them with a stick. At first, Freddy even battles to pick up his food due to how hard his hands are upset. Be that as it may, soon he gets enormous strength, so much so he can break pecans with his uncovered fingers. One day Freddy thus goes to a neighborhood betting apparatus. So has extremely sharp eyes and figures out how to win each and every time. The proprietor needs to dispose of him, however So needs to bring in sufficient cash for his week-by-week drinks. As So wins his last play and is about to leave, he is tested by one of the hooligans of the apparatus. The two of them put down wagers with all of their cash. The hooligan anyway attempts to win by cheating, however excessively fast with his as well eye and notification where he's covered up the coin. The hooligan then attempts to take off with the cash. Freddy stops him and requests he return their cash. The hooligan uncovers the power of his head and difficulties Freddy to a fight. At first Freddy is overwhelmed, however he before long tracks down a sled and pummels the man. So then, at that point, requests that prepared take the cash and present to him some wine. Freddy anyway goes to a cafe and gobbles up all of the dishes accessible. He asks the server to fill the jug with just 3 cups of wine, and the remainder of the jug he fills up with water. Back at his bungalow, So has become feeble as his significant wellspring of force is his beverages. The hooligan from before shows up with the renowned bamboo expert to thrash So and Freddy. The bamboo ace beginnings going after So. At the point when Freddy shows up, he hands the jug to Plant, however it's simply water on account which So can't completely beat the bamboo ace. Both of them are compelled to take off, what's more, stow away until the bamboo ace goes away. That evening So reprimands Freddy for squandering the cash on food, notwithstanding him inquiring Freddy to bring liquor. Freddy contends that assuming this is the case had been showing him better, maybe he might have beaten the bamboo ace in his place. So then lets him know that, as of recently, he had been educating Freddy on the nuts and bolts, without which he can never get familiar with the style, that he needs to educate him. He proclaims Freddy now prepared and opens up 2 holders of safeguarded liquor. The two of them drink until they're completely smashed. He then, at that point, shows the kid the abilities of his 7 experts. Ace Liu, who has full command over his internal identity. Ace Lee has the most grounded right leg. The fat expert Han, who conveys a cauldron of solidarity. Ace Lan, who is the expert on secrecy. Ace Chang, who has some expertise in twofold assaults. Ace Shou is an expert on neck assaults. Also, at long last, expert Miss Ho utilizes her body's tastefulness to beat her adversaries. Freddy trains constantly in the ways of these bosses. Then again, Mr. Lee one day shows up at Wong's home. He requests to know why he's halting individuals of his town to offer land to him. Wong asks him for what reason he needs the land. Mr. Lee gives a reason, saying that his family requires them to get that land. Wang sees right through his falsehoods and lets him know that he will not get the land. He knows that the lands have coal and Lee needs to sell them for a benefit, however he won't ever let it work out. Lee attempts to offer him 20 of the commissions assuming he helps him, however Wang denies it straight away and tells Lee to escape his home. Later in his mysterious area, Thunder Leg gets one more abundance from Mr. Lee for killing expert Wang. Sometime thereafter, as Freddy is returning to So's place with his week-by-week drinks, he goes over the dojo of Bamboo Ace Stick. Wanting to get payback once and for all, Freddy begins prodding the Bamboo Ace, what's more, inciting him to a fight. The Bamboo Ace fires, pounding Freddy with his brilliant abilities, however Freddy drinks from the liquor he has, what's more, begins utilizing the plastered style against him. The Bamboo Ace is no match for the tipsy style of Kung Fu, what's more, concedes rout. Freddy even takes 2 huge cauldrons of wine with him. After coming to So's bungalow, he understands that So is no place to be seen. He has composed a letter to Freddy making sense of that his preparation is finished, so he should get once again to his dad and presently live as a decent child. Back at Wong's dojo, he's told by a man that Lee's men are digging the coal-filled land without his authorization. When Wong races to the spot, he doesn't track down anybody yet, Thunder Leg hanging tight for him. Thunder Leg moves him to a fight, also enlightens him concerning himself. He accepts that Wang is an ideal counterpart for himself, and so this will be a respectable battle. He will kill Wong without giving him much inconvenience out of regard. Wong and Thunder Legs begin battling, and true to form, Thunder Leg is better than Wang. All at once Freddy shows up and tells his father that he will battle in his stead. Much incredibly, Hobo So additionally shows up. Thunder Leg is threatened by this, yet So guarantees him that he won't participate in the fight with Freddy is sufficient to beat Thunder Leg. Freddy and Thunder Leg then take part in a fight. Freddy utilizes all his insight that he acquired from his preparation and all the abilities of the experts to overcome Thunder Leg unequivocally, and that is the means by which the film closes. That was all from the video. I wish you love it. Subscribe for more recaps like this and hit the bell button to help the channel. If you like, you can share your opinion about the video in the comments.